The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power has left out an important canon character for 2 whole seasons, but it can't get away with this for much longer. There are a variety of reasons that the Prime Video series has made changes to Tolkien's legendarium, some being better than others. In the case of this character's absence, it served the overall story of Rings of Power Seasons 1 and 2 since Galadriel was able to form more complicated relationships with Sauron and Elrond. However, enough is enough, and it's time for the fantasy series to provide definitive answers about where this canon Tolkien character has been. Rings of Power Season 1 established many of the changes Prime Video made to Tolkien canon, most of which revolved around Middle-earth's Second Age timeline. The story was condensed, and events like the Balrog's awakening in Khazad-dûm and the Astari's arrival in Middle-earth were moved up. Then, it was Season 2's job to justify these decisions. This second batch of Rings of Power episodes revealed that Khazad-dûm's Balrog would return to his slumber and confirmed that the stranger is Gandalf. Still, even after all 16 episodes, we still don't know where Celeborn is. Rings of Power Season 3 must bring back Celeborn. His absence has been mostly ignored for far too long. Sauron and Galadriel reflected in the water in The Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power Season 1 finale, and Celeborn in the foreground. A significant point of confusion in Rings of Power Season 1 was the fate of Galadriel's husband, Celeborn. According to Tolkien canon, these two should have been married long before the event seen on screen, but Galadriel appeared to be very single instead. Finally, the elf mentioned that she had been married to Celeborn but that her husband died. In Rings of Power's version of events, Galadriel believes she will never see him again. Of course, this is not destined to be true since they will live together in Lothlorien during the events of The Lord of the Rings. Showrunners for the Rings of Power have already confirmed that Celeborn will return eventually, but such a moment never came in Season 2. Everyone was a little too busy with the Siege of Eregion plotline, so this is more or less acceptable. However, such an important canon character can't be shrouded in mystery forever. Prime Video has a 5-season plan for Rings of Power, and Celeborn only appearing as an afterthought in the final seasons would be a disservice to not only his but Galadriel's character. Rings of Power Season 3 is the last chance for Celeborn to appear before his absence becomes ridiculous. Celeborn being absent aided Galadriel's Rings of Power story, up to now. Galadriel needed to resist temptation without that added element. Given the angle that Rings of Power has taken with Galadriel's character, it makes sense that Celeborn would be temporarily cut. Season 1 saw the future Lady of Lothlorien develop a unique friendship with Halbrand, which bordered ever so slightly on romantic. This made the reveal that he was Sauron all the more impactful, and the charged chemistry between the two continued into Rings of Power Season 2. However, the season finale saw Galadriel definitively turn her back on Sauron, proving that she had not been so seduced to fall entirely under his control. She is free in spirit and mind. For all of this to have the same impact, Galadriel needed to be single. If Celeborn were around, Galadriel's temptation to be Sauron's queen wouldn't have held so much weight. Now that she has officially shut this door, literally delivering the line "the door is shut," Celeborn's absence no longer serves this purpose. Galadriel had spent centuries thinking of nothing else but taking Sauron down, so there was no room in her heart or mind for love, family, or community. Now, at this stage in her story, Galadriel must be reminded of the kind of joyful future she has been fighting for, and Celeborn will be key. Celeborn isn't the only member of Galadriel's family that is missing. Galadriel should have more than one happy reunion in the coming episodes. Galadriel Rings of Power Daughter Season 2 Celebrian appear. Of course, Celeborn isn't the only person important to Galadriel who has been unceremoniously cut from Rings of Power. By this point in the story, she should already have a daughter, Celebrian, who, according to canon, should be meeting and falling in love with Elrond any day. It's unclear whether Galadriel believes that Celebrian is also dead or if the elf has yet to be born. Regardless, this Lord of the Rings character will also need to make an appearance in the coming episodes. Galadriel resisted temptation in Rings of Power's first 2 seasons, now, she deserves some happiness.